Hey everybody, this is Matt with Survivalist 2012. I'm going to do a review on my emergency preparedness radio, and it's made by Eton, and it's the Microlink FR160. Now I have showed this radio briefly in my bug out bag video, and I've gotten a couple questions about it. I just haven't gotten around to doing a video on it, so I'm going to do that for you guys today. Basically, like I said before, it is made by Eton, and it is the Microlink FR160. It's the emergency preparedness radio, and it's solar powered with a USB phone charger. So it's a pretty cool radio. And here it is. You got all your AM, your FM bands. You have your weather bands. You got a nice little flashlight right here. You have your volume knob. And then right back here is where your USB cord plugs into, and then your headphones jack, and then you also have your crank radio portion, your little crank handle, and then your antenna. You also have your solar panel up there as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but basically, if you crank this thing for 90 seconds. It says it'll play for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes on low volume, which is pretty cool. That ain't that bad. But if you leave it sit out in the sun for about 8 to 10 hours, it'll have 3 to 5 hours worth of playtime. So that's actually really good. All you gotta do is just leave it sit outside in the sun. But we are gonna put this this little crank radio to the test today. I've never tried to charge anything with it, and I think what we're gonna do is we're going to put that to the test today. We'll plug a USB in there, and we're going to try to charge an old cell phone that hasn't been on in probably 2 years. So we go ahead and get everything together, and I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, we're back. One other quick thing I want to go into before we start trying to charge a cell phone is these little radios are meant to work on a battery. Okay, you have your battery access panel in the back with a little screw here, and I mean, with the battery charged up, you don't have to crank it, which is pretty cool. But if you ever had a problem with if we ever had an EMP or anything like that to where it wiped out all the battery sources, what's cool about this little radio is even without a battery, take it out here for you guys. Now, it's not going to work without you cranking it, but even without a battery, if you know you're looking around the house for something, it's completely dark, it still works when you're cranking it. Now, it goes off immediately as soon as you stop cranking it, but the moment you start cranking it, you got light. And the same goes for the AM FM band. Turn it on FM here. I mean, who wants to really sit here and crank a radio to listen to the radio, but if it's an emergency situation, you can find out exactly what's going on just by cranking the radio. Now your battery, it's dead. It's dead. We had an EMP. So this is still good for EMPs. So I just wanted to show you guys that real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and put the battery back in, and we're going to try and charge this cell phone right here. It's a pretty old cell phone, as you guys can see. It doesn't come on at all. Hasn't even been turned on in 2 years. So we're going to hook a USB up to this, hook the phone up to it, crank it, and see if we can get a little bit of charge out of it. So I'll be right back. I'll get everything else back together. See you in a minute. Alright guys, we are back. We're going to go ahead and we got our USB cord hooked up to our radio. We got our phone here. We're going to go ahead and hook up our phone. We'll set it right there for you guys. And I'm going to start cranking. Actually, I believe you have to set it on cell. You do. When you're trying to charge something, you have to set it on cell. And you guys can see the light on the display of the phone just lit up. The phone is coming on. And it's got a little message saying searching for network, because the phone hasn't been used in probably about 2 years. And the phone just went off. So I'm going to show you guys that again. I'm going to try and set it up here. If you crank this thing long enough, you're going to get charge. Maybe charge just long enough so you can make one telephone call, which would be good enough. So if you guys just take a look at that cell phone right there. See if I can zoom in here for you. We'll get to cranking again. And you guys can see the cell phone just came on. And there it is, charging. Now I'm not going to sit here and charge this phone. It gets pretty tiring using this thing here. But if, like I said, if you were in a emergency situation and you needed to, I sure as hell would. So as far as picking one of these things up, guys, you can get them. I got mine at Radio Shack. It was $30, which is kind of pricey for a little radio like that, but if you look at it in a survival or a preparedness mind frame, it's definitely worth it. I mean, you guys seen that you can take the battery out and still use the light and the radio, which is cool, because if you have an EMP, you know that battery's going to be worthless anyways, unless you have it out encased in complete metal and grounded. You may save that battery, but you know, it appears to be a pretty good radio. So like I said, I picked mine up at Radio Shack for about $30. It's definitely worth the price. You guys seen that it can charge your cell phone, and then the solar power function on it's awesome. Again, an awesome radio, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Until then, this is Matt with Survivalist 2012, signing off.